Welcome everyone to a very angry episode of Busted Musket Productions.
Angry?
Untitled movie show.
Untitled movie show.
Yes, untitled movie show.
We talk about it so you can make an informed choice.
Yeah.
About all the horrible decisions you make in life.
Exactly. Like going to go see one of the movies that we're going to have a full-blown spoiler discussion about. But you know what? We'll be talking about other things that won't completely be pissing me off this episode.
It's just a lot to cover.
Yeah.
It's a lot to cover, at least. We were supposed to go watch the movie together, but
I fell asleep.
He fell asleep so hard that when I went to his place, I'm like, hey, get up. What the fuck, dude? Okay, I'm leaving it out, you bye.
One of the best decisions of my life. Well, it wasn't really a decision. It was more like one of the best mistakes of my life.
Well, I'll put it like this. If based on what you've already briefly said to me right now, I could already imagine seeing your face in the theater. Like, you just like, I would leave.
Oh.
It sounds like you would have the face that you just wanted to walk out.
Oh no, Daniel. I was supposed to go to the Vista and ask them if they had any job opportunities. And the manager was there. I was so mad at the end of this movie that I didn't do that because the last thing I wanted to do was talk to someone dressed up as Jack Sparrow. Because that's what the manager of the theater does. He dresses up as whatever popular movie comes out.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that. That's great.
When I went to go see Star Wars Episode 7, like, he was a Death Trooper. No, Stormtrooper.
No, I was about to be like, what?
Wrong movie. Because remember, I told you, they didn't play Rogue One. They played La La Land instead. Good choice movie because your 1950s movie vibe is so appropriate for that movie.
It feels appropriate, so like that makes sense to me.
Dude, they still play Let's All Go to the Lobby.
They still play Let's All Go to the Lobby?
Yes, and it's not even like updated or anything. No,
it's
still
straight
like
up the original
animated.
Fucking film print.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then they play the upcoming attractions music, and like you hear the crappy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but
I as you know, I still haven't been to the Vista in like fucking a decade.
You went when it was like the ghetto theater.
The last time I was at the Vista is when it was still ghetto, and we saw a Terminator movie there.
Oh, well, that was your problem. You saw a Terminator.
I know. I
mean, you were born after the 80s, so it wasn't the good ones.
No. It was like...
it was probably 3.
It was probably 3, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Or that, what was it, Salvation?
Yeah, Salvation.
Or some one of those. It doesn't matter. They all fucking blow.
Yeah. Hey, Salvation was okay. 3 blows. Salvation was okay.
Yeah, they all blow.
Yeah, they blow to the point where James Cameron is like, all right, I'll have to save this franchise. I will come in, become a producer for the movie.
They all blow so hard. Michael Bay is just in the background like, hey, why are you working on these?
Because the guy who directed Thor: The Dark World and this new one already has your same crappy style of humor to begin with. Except he toned it down a lot for Terminator, I will say that. So here's something that I discovered that creeps me out.
Huh.
Apparently there's certain parts of Mexico where, like, the people there look white. Like, I work with a guy at Goodwill, right? He has red hair, super pale skin, and freckles. Full-blooded Mexican. More Mexican than me.
Okay.
And then...
what?
Have you seen those before? You've never seen them.
You can't say those.
Those things, fine.
No,
but have you seen a person like that? Like a Mexican like that? Because the closest I've ever seen was Georgiana, but she still looks Latino. She's just super white-skinned.
I don't see where you're going with this.
I'm just saying, I've never seen that. Do you? Because, you're Salvadorian. Maybe Salvadors have the same thing.
I have no idea what
because
you're talking about.
I tell my mom, and I told my mom that, and she's like, yeah, one of my best friends was like that in high school.
I am not familiar at all, so I'm not going to make any comment.
Well, it's not racist. You're the one trying to make it racist. No, because here's a funny story that happened to me. Like, I felt really bad afterwards. So, like, this woman walks up to me, and she's all like, oh, do you speak Spanish? I'm like, no. So she, like, calls her daughter over, and I just see, like, this super pale-skinned, freckled, redhead girl. And then I'm just, like, thinking to myself, adoptive daughter?
Oh
Maybe.
God.
And
Oh
then like no, that girl starts speaking Spanish, and of course she spoke better Spanish than me. Her English is pretty good. She had a tiny accent, so I'm just like, this is a thing. And then I asked my coworker, and he's just like, yeah, no, my parents are from the certain part of Mexico where like everyone's like that, almost everyone's like that, and I'm just like, I've never heard of that before. And I told my mom, and she's like, yeah, no, I lived really far away from the part he's talking about, but like one of my best friends in high school, yeah.
Like, okay.
And I'm just like, okay, I've never seen that before. Now I kind of want to hear the stories that somewhere in Africa there's just nothing but white people who are just as African as like black African people.
Okay.
Which is true. Shelter Copley, white dude, South African. Boom.
Okay. Okay then. Sure. Why not?
I just find it weird, okay? You're the one making it awkward and like racist.
I'm just like, I don't know why we're having this conversation.
I said we had to open up with fluff, and look, your iPod's like, okay, let's get out of this conversation. I'm on you, motherfucker.
It's not fluff. It's more just like, what?
It's not fluff. It's hardcore racism. No, I'm joking.
It's just what?
But yeah,
what am I searching for again?
just type in Dark Universe trailer.
Dark Universe.
Or more like buy our old DVDs trailer.
Buy our old.
No, literally, have you seen it yet?
I have not seen.
Oh,
this.
you're gonna love it. It's so weird.
Okay.
It really does show you that Universal doesn't know what they're doing with this.
Okay, Dark Universe.
So anyway, guys, we do have some fun stuff coming up ahead. I am currently in the process of adapting an old book I've been working on into an audio drama. Yeah, the very top one.
Okay.
Just immediately put it on pause after the ad plays. There's probably going to be turn it off.
Okay.
Okay, and then tap your finger so it can go back 10 seconds. Oh.
It's only 3 seconds ahead.
Too bad. There. So anyway, yeah, and then of course we do have a interview coming up with an unnamed voice actor actress that I will keep hidden for now.
Is that how you've been advertising that?
Yeah, they know. I haven't even said like what she's in that's so popular right now. I haven't even been referencing.
Yeah, that will happen.
Hopefully sometime next week, because I think she's at
some con right now.
I think it might be I think it might be Anime North.
I don't know. In either case, she's at some con right now, so I'll check in sometime this coming week.
Yeah.
Weekdays.
Yeah.
Like maybe in like 2 days from now, I'll check in. It's like, hey, what are you up to?
Yeah, and then next week we're gonna have for Animazing we're going to have our episode on Overlord. And then the week after that, we're finally going to have a me and Lewis episode where we talk about another Monogatari series that isn't connected to Monogatari.
That's the thing?
Yeah, he has a show called Katana Gatari, which is basically...
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It's so good.
It's
so blabbity, but it's really good.
I know which one that one is.
Yeah. So, since I'm pretty sure that our spoiler talk's going to take up half the show, let's kick things off with our very first trailer, and our only trailer, with a little bit of discussion.
So, I've never seen this trailer, and this is the trailer for Universal's new Universe for Monsters.
Yes.
So, let's take a gather right here.
Hence on the trailer for the universe.
The time has come.
Where are we?
Look. Look and wonder.
The audio quality is so outdated, it sounds so bad when it's this loud.
Because half of these don't even have Blu-ray treatments yet.
Of love and crime.
Oh, look.
And death.
It's the Invisible Man.
Spirit that has wandered through so many forms
So not looking
and so
forward to that
many
one.
ages.
What?
Thou
Also, her
shalt
movie's
rise
coming out
again.
next year.
That's Brighton.
Thank you.
Oh, this is a lot louder than I thought it would be.
Well, it's because it's so close to you. It should be closer to the mic.
Well, I can't without cutting the power, I guess.
Ah.
The superstition of yesterday can become the reality of today.
Think of it, waiting for a new life to come.
come back very soon now. With terrible power. The nations of the world will run squealing in terror. To a new world of gods and monsters.
Dark Universe.
It's just the Universal logo. I love it.
It is just the Universal logo.
Okay, so pause it. That's literally all this trailer was. It was just
Dracula Complete Legacy Collection, Frankenstein the Mummy, Invisible Man, Bride of Frankenstein, The Wolfman, Phantom of the Opera, Creature from Black Lagoon, available on Blu-ray and DVD.
That's basically what this trailer was. It was an announcement for this new universe they're creating, while at the same time selling the old shit.
Do we need to have the trailer for Pirates, I guess?
I don't want to hear anything from that fucking movie. But go ahead.
Okay.
No, so go ahead. It always sets up the tone.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically what you guys were listening to was a 2-minute trailer where it was nothing but the clips from the 1930s movies.
Yeah, it was just fucking those movies.
There was no scenes from The Mummy that they could have used. There was no concept art that they probably had. There was no how Frankenstein's monster might end up looking, or maybe showing photos of the actors that they got for these upcoming movies.
No, it's just showing, hey guys, you're old and know these movies. You're hip with the young people that you're gonna
force
tell.
your kids to go see the new movies coming out.
Force your kids to come see these movies you grew up with, monsters and shit.
Which I thought of an idea that we will definitely be doing.
Huh.
Because I really like the idea.
Huh.
Every one of these Universal Monster movies that come out, we watch the old one.
Well, I mean, we've already done Frankenstein's and Dracula, so we wouldn't.
We haven't done Frankenstein.
Well, I've done it.
Yeah.
Okay, I've done Frankenstein.
Well, neither of us have seen The Mummy.
Neither of us have seen The Mummy.
So we'll definitely be watching that.
Or The Invisible Man.
Yeah. I gotta get that, by the way. I have to buy The Mummy soon because that movie comes out in 2 weeks.
I would still say this. When it comes to these old movies, there was only one of these movies that always fascinated me, and that was because at the time this was some crazy witchcraft, but the way they did the Invisible Man revealing himself.
Man, I keep seeing that on the Universal tour, and I still can't figure out how they did that.
That's the one thing that of all these old Universal movies, I respect so hard. I'm like, it's probably really easy and common practice now, but when they made that scene, it was like, what the fuck? How did you do that?
Well, they didn't really have, like, the visual effects for that, so if anything, I bet they cut out the bits of his head and then, like, replaced... Like, they had to mess with the film directly to do that scene.
Maybe. In either case, it looks good still.
Yeah.
And I really like it. And you know,
it just
now
sucks.
that you told me that the Invisible Man is going to be Johnny Depp, like, oh.
It just sucks who's playing him. And who's playing Frankenstein's monster? Javier Bardem, who, thanks to Pirates, I am not in good terms with now.
Yeah.
Javier Bardem was fucking Salazar.
Yeah, it's just, okay.
But anyway, yeah, talking about this movie, like, if anyone is more excited that we're getting something like this, it's me, because I am a huge monster fan, and I have recently formed a love for the Universal Monsters, and I'm just, like, you know, like, I think I saw bits of Frankenstein. We, of course, saw the entirety of Dracula. I saw bits of Bride.
I love Dracula.
Yeah, Dracula was great. Just sucks.
I love that our viewing experience with Dracula, because I'm just like, oh my god, she's right behind you.
It just sucks that the movie that Dracula is like the last person they're thinking about right now for this universe.
Provided this movie universe thing was supposed to have started, you know, with that other Dracula movie that came out, but nobody remembers because nobody saw it.
I thought that movie came out 2015. Turns out it was 14.
Nobody saw it.
Nobody saw it.
Nobody remembers it was a thing. I bet you if...
I've never seen it either.
That's right. I bet you if you told anyone that there's already a Universal Dracula movie that's modern...
Yeah.
They would be like, huh? What?
Yeah, but people have been talking to Luke Evans, and he's saying, Universal doesn't know whether they want to pull me in without a movie again, or whether they're just going to recast me and do something completely different with the character. And, you know, I think the problem is that Universal is going into this universe with no plan. because I think the reason why we didn't get any concept art or like
Because they haven't made anything.
they haven't made anything.
They just announced that they're doing a thing, and everyone's like, okay, cool.
And actually, I think one of the heads of Universal, or someone who's running this, even said, "We don't have an end game or an overlaying plot line. We just know that we're doing it and that they're all getting together at one point. We just don't know how. We don't know whether we want to go into it Avengers style. We don't know if we just want to play these off as horror movies, which play those off as horror movies, with a little twinge of action adventure in it."
It is such an experimental thing for Universal that I can't see it other than failing. Because if you're
Yeah.
gonna make something this ambitious and not have a plan, that's just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, like after Infinity War, I'm gonna stop watching those Marvel movies because Disney has no idea what they're gonna do after that. But
Yeah,
they know they
Infinity
want to
War
keep the universe going.
it was the end game for the Marvel universe.
Yeah, but
And
they're not gonna let it die.
I know they won't, but
Not until like Doctor Strange 3 comes in like 8th place or something.
and look, like there's only one thing DC could do right now to get me even remotely interested of anything.
Make a good movie, first of all.
Well, besides make a good movie, first of all, Hellbat armor.
What?
The Hellbat armor.
Nah.
Do you know what that is?
No. Get the Tetsuya Nomura Batman armor then.
Well, that's basically the Hellbat armor. Like, okay, so context to summarize that whole thing very, very fast, quickly. Hellbat armor is basically they forged it in a sun,
Yeah.
and all of the Justice League helped make this armor so that Batman could fight Darkseid with like 1-to-1.
Yeah, they'll probably do that with how fast they're rushing into Darkseid.
I know. So what I'm saying is that, if they make the Hellbat armor, I'll be interested.
Oh god, this really is the Tetsuya Nomura.
That's what I'm saying. It basically is that armor. It's just black and burning red, and it kills Batman as he wears it.
Yeah, they should.
it's the closest thing to you is the Berserk armor. You know, the one Guts has, the giant.
I've never seen Berserk.
Oh, okay. Well,
And,
I know you've seen his armor though, like the
Yeah.
Black Wolf armor.
I saw the death battle with it.
Yeah, the Black Wolf armor. That's basically the Batman equivalent of that armor.
Yeah.
The Hellbat.
Man, it's funny. Berserk's been going on for all this time, and they're barely getting into that armor with this new series. Like, the arc for that is barely happening.
Well, yeah, because he doesn't get that armor until way later in that fucking series.
Yeah.
And that armor is like straight up endgame for him because that armor is so fucking ridiculously powerful.
Yeah. So, yeah. So with this universe, like, I'm looking forward to what they're doing with it. The Mummy looks like it's going to be okay. I think everyone going in saying it already looks terrible is,
I think it's just Tom Cruise.
Yeah, people don't like Tom Cruise. No.
That's right. I think it's more Tom Cruise than the actual fucking movie.
Because my problem with it is that this movie's called The Mummy, and I'm really scared from what I'm getting from the trailers, because I've been purposely ignoring all of these trailers. Well, not having them on the show. I myself have been watching all of them. But, like, it looks like Tom Cruise is going to be the one with the mummy powers, and then they're just going to end up killing off the girl from Kingsman, which I don't want them to do that because I don't like Tom Cruise.
Fuck me. They are gonna do that.
They're probably going to do that, yeah. But I don't know. Someone's even saying we might just make it that in this universe, Van Helsing is a title and not an actual person, and he might just become Prodigium's Van Helsing. Which, oh yeah, the name of the company that's basically S.H.I.E.L.D. is called Prodigium, which is being run by Dr. Jekyll.
Dr. Jekyll.
Yeah, Dr. Jekyll, played by, what's his name? And yeah, they already showed that Dr. Jekyll's in the movie, and thank God they're not doing a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen thing where he was basically the Hulk.
Oh my god. All I'm saying is this. What you just said is probably gonna be it.
Yeah.
Because, no, we can't have Lady Mummy, it's gotta be Man Mummy.
Well, I think in the original movie it was a woman, too.
I don't remember.
At least in one of the incarnations there was also a woman.
It also didn't look like a person in the other movies. It looked like a creepy zombie thing.
Yeah. Well, they do the thing, I think in one movie they do the thing that the Brendan Fraser mummy did, where it's just like, you're a sexy Persian man now.
Because this movie has to be PG-13
for kiddies.
and not
Even
R.
though that first movie had some pretty horrific shit, so they got away with a lot in that first movie. Like beetles popping out of a guy's eyeball sockets and stuff like that. A guy getting his hand melted off. Like, yeah, this was basically the Indiana Jones of its day. But Indiana Jones was PG, which is even worse.
In fucking in the what was it? The Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah, Temple of Doom.
Well,
right?
don't forget Ark of the Covenant too.
Oh, because people's head exploded.
Yeah. Like that, it wasn't even exploding. That would have been fast. That one had lingering shots of like every bit of meat slipping from a guy's face.
Go. Still a great fucking effect.
Yeah, which is how I was when we were watching the movie we're going to talk about later.
And that was your face? You were melting?
Yeah. I'm like, this movie's 2 hours and... This movie...
How long
the
was this
line
movie?
about this movie, too. This movie is not 2 hours and 33 minutes. This movie is 2 hours. That movie started at 1:30 and I got out at 3:30. Like, that movie's just 2 hours. I don't know why they keep saying it's 2 hours and 30 minutes.
I think because it feels that way.
Yeah. But yeah, so, again, I'm looking forward to this universe. I really hope they do know what they're doing, because all we really do have is Dr. Jekyll, who is not a Universal monster. There's not a Dr. Jekyll Universal monster movie. We have the Mummy, we have the Invisible Man, and Frankenstein being played by Johnny Depp and Javier Bardem. Fuck those guys. We also have a Wolfman movie in production. We have Bride of Frankenstein, that is being directed by the director of Beauty and the Beast, and will be coming out sometime next year, which you guys really should be saving her for last. I really want to see what they're going to do with Creature of the Black Lagoon, because so many people have been afraid to remake that movie because apparently it's cursed, quotey fingers. I can't find any reasons why it's cursed, but there's a reason why we haven't gotten like any other Creature of the Black Lagoon movies or even a remake adaptation. So I don't know what's going on.
Because it's immortalized in the 1940s poster of this fish man holding a woman screaming.
Yeah, well, let's not forget that Universal also made a rock opera for Universal Studios.
What?
Yeah, they made a rock opera.
A rock opera.
Yeah, you know that giant castle-like building that has the special effects that's right next to Simpsons?
I think so.
Yeah, that big black building, they used that it was when they had the original Spider-Man musical, and then when they had a Creature of the Black Lagoon musical, which is horrifically unpopular to the point where they got rid of it like a year later. And then we had Fear Factor, and now it's the special effects extravaganza show, which is kind of a fascinating little thing.
Waterworld is the only thing that's been consistently, like, watched.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's funny because I don't like Waterworld, because that movie... Actually, no, I like the show. I hate the movie. My bad. Because the acting in the show is better than the acting in the movie for some reason. Like the guy playing Deacon, the evil dude, is Dennis Hopper in the movie, and he's just terrible in the movie. And then every guy who plays the Deacon, they kind of get what kind of character he's supposed to be. So it's just like, oh, okay, you guys are way better because you know this is a cheesy, stupid, like, sexist character.
Everyone knows in the stunt show that this is supposed to be over the top and cheesy, and everyone's having fun with it.
Yeah.
Because even though they do it like a couple times a day, they know that there's a certain level of fun and cheesiness that goes throughout every showing.
Yeah.
And it also brings smiles to their face and just destroy everyone in the audience with water.
I know, even in the middle of the show, they'll just throw buckets of water
Yeah,
at
they'll just
people and
start
hit them with
throwing
water
it.
guns.
They'll just start throwing it on people.
I'm like, hey, douchebag, stop it.
Yeah.
There was one guy that nailed me in the face. That's why I don't like going there anymore.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, they have fun because they get to, like, I get to legally throw water at you because we gave you a disclaimer.
I actually worked with a guy at Goodwill that he was one of the dudes who had to fall like 3 stories off one of the buildings on that show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did he say about it?
Oh, he was just like, oh, it was fun, but I almost broke my leg at one point.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he jumped too soon. Apparently, they're supposed to take a massive leap.
Uh-huh.
Because there's 3 or 2 inches of like surface underneath the railing they're supposed to jump off of.
Yeah.
So they got a leap, because if they jump too soon, they're gonna land at least on half of that railing.
Ouch.
Yeah. But yeah, so Here's the thing I want for the Universal Monster Universe. I want this to be successful to the point where they start running out of monsters to put in. So we get like Chucky teaming up with the Wolfman and shit.
What the fuck?
And look, Universal, I'm not fucking with you. You guys own one of the scariest aliens in movie history.
And what's that?
That came out in 1982, around the same time as another Universal movie,
What?
E.T. They could use E.T. and make him a villain in the movie. No,
Oh
I'm
my-
joking. I'm talking about John
yeah.
Carpenter's The Thing.
Wait, they have the thing?
They own The Thing.
They own the thing.
Yes.
They own the thing.
Yes.
And they're making a Dark Universe.
That's right. I'm like, if you guys want to have them fight aliens, make it The Thing. Because it would be fucking hilarious and it would just be really dumb because, like, half of those monsters will have to fight using, like, their hands. And, like, the whole point of the thing is you're not supposed to touch it because it's just one giant amoeba. Yeah, but they own it, so they could use it if they want.
Here's what I'm gonna tell you though. $10 says every single movie is gonna be no higher than PG-13.
No, they already said that. They're like, even our more bloodier movies, like, is going to be a very high PG-13, but it's never gonna hit R.
And that's why they can't do the thing.
I think there's toys currently in production, if I'm right,
Of what?
of The Mummy. I think I could be wrong, but someone told me there are toys currently in production.
Why?
I know there's Funko Pops of Amenet and the Mummy. Amenet is the Mummy, but they have Amenet as a pharaoh and then Amenet as the Mummy.
Oh.
So they have Funko Pops of them already. Dude, there are freaking toys of Kong Skull Island, and none of them are Kong. They were all the monsters.
What?
Yeah, with the characters, who look nothing like the characters.
There was toys?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you'd have to go to Walmart to get them. Yeah.
They're so available. You just have to go to Walmart.
Yeah, they were done by like a fourth party. But the thing is that they look like the cheap little toys that me and you would love when we were like 5 or 6. So it was kind of nostalgic looking at those, but they still looked awful.
There's still 8 Power Ranger stories from sounds of it.
Yeah, fucking, and that's a big toy manufacturer too, and they're fucking up with those, like Jakks Pacific.
I didn't think they were fucking up with that. It's that they had no idea how to do
The Power Rangers toys.
the fucking these sharp, rigid fucking things that aren't symmetrical at all.
Yeah. So before we head on to our spoiler talk, I think, Daniel, you'll take solace in knowing that there might never be another Power Rangers movie because it bombed in China for some reason.
Ha!
I'm like, it's a giant robot movie.
That doesn't have giant robots.
It does have giant robots.
It has one.
No.
And it's for 5 minutes.
It has giant animal robots. That's enough for them.
No.
They're keeping the fucking Transformers movies alive.
No.
And they didn't want to go see that.
Transformers knows how pacing when it comes to giant robots. Hey, this dialogue scene that got on for 5 minutes is pointless. Gone
And
too
they
far.
like-
Here's an explosion of robots.
They're the ones keeping Fast and the Furious alive too, and they have the exact same pacing as the Power Rangers movie. Like, it's nothing but talking and melodramatic bullcrap. Except I liked the melodramatic bullcrap in Power Rangers because they felt like real kids and not fucking action movie bullshit. Sorry, my hatred for the Fast and the Furious is coming out. But yeah, like, I looked it up, and apparently Power Rangers has never been popular in that country for some reason. Like, not even Sentai, not even the American. It's just never been popular in that country. So I think that's one thing that Lionsgate didn't account for. So they really did kind of fuck up.
They just kind of looked at Pacific Rim numbers and thought they were just like...
They thought, like, it's going to have a giant robot, but they forget that, unlike Pacific Rim, it doesn't have a pre-existing property behind it. So...
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so the Chinese one, like, oh, I remember that Pacific Rim
Don't
TV
talk like
show.
that.
I really hated this movie.
Stop.
Hey, I only did that out of instinct, but once you told me to stop, I had to go full on racist with it. No, but they're like, look, they weren't like, I hated the Pacific Rim TV show. I'm not going to go see this movie now. No, they're like, oh, giant robots fighting giant monsters. I can get behind this. And that's all it is. I think Transformers was pretty big in China before then. So, yeah, they're like, oh, a Transformers movie with giant robots punching each other. Of course I'm going to go see that movie. But, you know, if I'm right and what I looked up is true and they didn't like Power Rangers to begin with, then, yeah, they kind of walked that movie into its grave. And it's terrible because it made the numbers that they thought it was going to do in America. And that was 1.2 million in its opening weekend in China. That's how much it made in its opening weekend. It barely got anything.
1.2 million
Yeah.
in China.
Yeah, that's barely anything.
That's nothing. Nobody saw it.
Yeah.
That's fucking nothing. Holy shit.
Yeah, so Saban...
That's fucking awful.
Saban is already trying to move this to other companies, but they're like, dude, have you seen how this movie did, like, critically and financially? We do not fucking want this movie. So, yeah, any chance of us getting an even better Power Rangers movie is basically dead now.
Rip.
I'll be buying the movie to at least somehow helping it out on Blu-ray, because I do want to own that movie.
Fucking rip.
But, yeah, basically rip. Luckily for them, though, some of those kids are already getting picked off by bigger companies. Ludi Lon, who played the Black Ranger, he will be in an unconfirmed role for Aquaman.
Oh.
We don't know who he's going to be, but he's in it, so...
That's cool.
Yeah, good on you. I think they were already talking about... Oh, the girl who played Trini already has a musical career, so she's okay. But, like...
Who?
Oh, the girl who played Trini, her name is Becky G, the Yellow Ranger.
Oh, Yellow. Okay.
She was a pop singer before that, so she's
She's a
okay.
pop singer?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
They made a pop singer play the angsty person? That's just so funny.
Hey, we're gonna see a pop singer play a World War II British soldier, so anything can happen.
No, that's true, right,
God,
Dunkirk.
I have to go see that movie.
I actually want to see Dunkirk.
I want to go see it, but I just don't want to go see it with the Harry Styles fan club
Yeah,
sitting like 2 rows behind me.
Oh, he's so dreamy and...
Oh no, he's dead!
That's what you want to hear.
I kind of want to hear that, but at the same time, I don't. Just like that video of a live reaction of girls reacting to Glenn's death, and they're like, "It's not fair." One girl runs into the bathroom to cry, and then another girl's just like, "Oh."
Like, hey. Like, all I gotta say in terms of those reaction videos, like, motherfuckers, you don't know the drama to reading it.
Yeah, because the pacing, the pacing lead up for that movie was, the pacing lead up, God, your brother's side of the room is nothing but Coke Zero cans.
Yes.
It's like walking into a game developer's house, except he's not the game developer in the family.
Well, okay. They're not wrong.
I bet if I go to your office, it's nothing but freaking Monster.
No.
No,
That's not me. That's
everyone
my
else.
QA leads. They
Yeah.
actually have a dedicated mini fridge under their desk that's full of monsters.
You like call one of your QA leads, "Hey, can you help me?" And all you hear is, "Yeah, what's up?"
No, I'm serious. Underneath their fucking desk, there's a monster bread. No, there's not even like a mini fridge like No, it's like an official Monster mini fridge.
Oh no, I've seen those, and it has like the glass with like the Monster logo.
Yeah, it's got the
scratched on
logo
it. Yeah.
scratched on it, and then like inside it's glass, and you can see just the rows of fucking little like cans.
Yeah, Monster gave that to them personally because I think that's the only way.
They did, and that's why it's there. I've never personally seen them have to open it to use one, but
Yeah.
it's there
It's
should they
there.
need it.
Oh, it's like they open it and you're never looking at the right time. You just see that there's 6 in there, and then you turn around for 1 second and like it's on the table and you only count 5 in there now.
Hey, Monster will fucking kill you.
No,
Like,
dude, I tried like that Mountain Dew ripoff of Monster. My heart was already like, I'm like, I'm gonna die.
I'm
gonna die.
I'm gonna die.
And I think that shit's slow too. Like it took me 30 minutes to finish that thing, and after like half the can, it's like,
That was my favorite way you've ever said, I'm gonna die.
I'm gonna die. I cannot do that. Even my dad's just like, Danny, never drink those.
No, Eric, you know that my buddy that works at Infinity Ward?
Yeah.
He told me that he's been having a monster a day. I'm like, Eric, you are gonna die.
That's like he's so fidgety and he sounds like Rich Evans from Red Letter Media.
Oh my god.
I broke that glass thing too because when that guy talks, I'm like, he sounds like Rich Evans.
Oh my fucking god, he does.
Broke that glass ceiling for you too.
Oh no.
But yeah, so yeah.
It's a good thing he doesn't laugh like Rich Evans.
Oh god, thank God. Yeah, I've heard him.
Although I do love Rich Evans' laugh. I think it's a gift to mankind, and anyone that hates it, just fuck yourself.
Yeah, well, Red Letter Media's got you covered there by like
By zooming into it.
yeah, and picking up the audio purposely louder.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, what else was I gonna say? But yeah, those kids they're moving up because say what you will about the movie, some of them did give pretty good performances. So I'm glad that people are picking them off right now. I know the kid playing Billy, like if he doesn't get picked up by someone, I will personally just like beat up every director and be like, cast him in all your movies.
He's the one that deserves to move on up for me.
Because
like, he did a fine job. He carried that movie on his shoulders so hard.
Yeah, like even the movie knew that. They're like, let's turn him into the martyr.
That's how much we know.
And also with what they wanted to do with Tommy, I was really not kind of cool with it. Like, I mean, I'm okay with them having another female ranger to kind of even out the Power Rangers, but the movie already did clarify that Tommy was a boy. So they can't make him a girl and be like, the teacher just messed up, or the teacher never met the student, so he thought it was a boy by the name. But it's really Tomi.
Oh, it's Tommy.
Yeah.
Not Tommy.
Yeah, and then someone was just like, yeah, well, what about that Letterman jacket they had on the seat? Oh, that could have been a brother.
That's her fashion sense. Her brother lets her. Get with the times, old man.
But, I was somewhat okay with it because even Jason... even David something Frank, the original Green Ranger, was like, I'm totally down with it. I'll even help them look for one if they want. I'm like, dude, you're not going to be a Power Ranger, so I better not see you in a wig.
I'm young and hip with the kids again.
My name is Tommy. Jason, get the fuck out of here. Oh, Jason David Frank, there we go. But yeah, like, just like, you're not a Power Ranger anymore. You're like in your 40s. Fuck you, man.
No, so you don't tell me how I could be a big grown-up baby.
Yeah. What about Ludi Lin? He's like fucking 30. Yeah, but he looks younger than you. But yeah, so let's get to the movie.
Okay, so this should be great. I'm so curious to hear. I'm gonna just let you rant, and then I'll make some input.
Jack Sparrow has cursed us, condemned us. I will have my revenge. It's time to hunt the pirate.
Is that a sink? Oh, there you go.
Jack Sparrow! And then tell no tales.
I think we're good with that. They already just said the name of the movie and everything. So, tell me, Danny. Tell me all of your bursts of anger about
this movie opens up in an alternate universe where somehow the original 4 movies don't exist.
And they do exist, but they don't at the same time.
They don't at the same time, because the original movie clarifies that all of the crew of the Black Pearl is dead, except for Gibbs, who left the Black Pearl around the time that Jack was kicked out. So, for some reason, the movie opens up with Jack and his crew pulling off a bank heist with half of the crew who was on the Black Pearl, who are said to be dead because they were all strangled by the ropes of the ship, and Barbossa had to chop his leg off to get out at the same time. But no, they're okay. They're fine. Gibbs is there. The little guy with dwarfism is back. Half of the pirates on that ship are back. Hell, even on Barbossa's side, some of the pirates on the Black Pearl were also on the Queen's Marianne Revenge. Why? Well, the movie doesn't tell you, because for the next 2 hours and supposedly 33 more minutes of this movie, the movie's just gonna be jerking off in your face and calling you a fucking retard for watching this movie.
Okay.
So, anyway.
Damn, man.
This movie opens up with a young boy who we now know is Will Turner's son, Henry Turner.
I didn't even know he had a kid.
Yeah. Actually, at the end credits of number 3, you see you see Elizabeth with a young boy around the same time as the kid who started in that opening scene of the movie, watching as the Flying Dutchman, flies into port.
Okay.
But yeah, it's already clarified that he had a kid. Oh, I'm sorry. Have I been referring to this guy as a kid and a boy as an actual human being? No, I'm sorry. I mean Will Turner's plank of wood that he had.
What?
Because this kid was so uncharismatic, so devoid of any life or talent, that I just felt like I was watching a plank of wood on screen the whole time.
It's just floating plank of wood.
and that's not his and that's not.
He was talking to Plank?
Yeah, he was talking to Plank.
Yeah, well, so is Will Turner Johnny 2x4?
Yes, basically. But yeah, like he goes in and says, "Dad, I found a relic that has the power to break every spell in the sea."
How do you know about this?
That I'll be okay with that, because in the opening of the movie they kind of show you that he had maps and there are legends to it, and then of course he ends up walking into a walking stereotype of what Disney thinks a feminist is, and who is a young girl by the name of, fuck it, I forgot it because she was as useless as the kid in this movie.
What are we talking about?
The girl who was about to dubbed as a witch just because she was an intelligent woman, which
Oh,
I thought was funny.
yeah. I mean, the whole thing of like she's too smart that she's a witch kind of thing.
Yeah.
I thought that was clever because it's just like, yeah, it's timely and it did happen and it's fucking awful, but fucking yeah, it fits for the tone of the movie. Whatever. Yeah, her name, I don't remember it.
I don't remember it at all. Like,
All I know is that horologist.
yeah, I just remember that one joke. But yeah, she was also an astronomer too, because she fixed that guy's telescope, and now she's like,
Nobody has handled my telescope.
That was such an unnecessary like dick joke. Yeah, they're like, no one has handled my telescope, and it's all,
my Herbert telescope.
yeah, and then it's all like, now it won't be wrong anymore. Which, and it's just like, okay, whatever. So at that time, Johnny Depp, who does not want to be in this movie, and took so much life out of Jack Sparrow to the point where Disney made them write in the script, he's just drunk. You know, he's a boring man now. He's drunk. No, really, there's a difference between being drunk and just like, I'm just taking another paycheck, love.
I will say though, like, I like the reveal of him as they show him like that he's in the safe.
That was actually kind of funny.
It was clever. It was funny. I'm just like, wow, that's the last place I'd expect a pirate in a fucking bank vault.
Kill him!
4-inch steel bank vault.
Yeah.
That they've never opened until this unveiling, and there's not only a pirate in there, but the mayor's wife.
Which I thought that was actually really funny because it's like, kill him and the harlot too. Sir, I think
your
that's your wife.
What? Stephanie.
Yeah, Stephanie. Like, he looks so heartbroken.
He was so good. That little moment I thought was like an amazing start to a movie, but then it just started to go down.
Yeah, and then it starts, and then it just starts becoming Fast and the Furious 5.
Yeah, it is like Fast and Furious 5, but instead of cars, you have horses that have muscles of fucking steel.
Yeah, where they thought like, hey, you know what would be edgier than just pulling a bank vault? No.
Pulling the whole building of the bank vault with the bank vault inside.
Which at the same time, there has been numerous people on YouTube and people in architecture who have studied the houses of that time, and even they said, if that would, due to how cheaply some of those houses are built, not only would have they broken through the wall easily, but that entire building would have come down too. Even if they were dragging it the way they were, that entire building would have been nothing but the vault by the time they hit the gate. And no, they were able to have that entire building intact and use it as a blockade.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, given it was kind of fun, especially at the same time they do the Pirates of the Caribbean thing where Jack is like using everything in his disposal to get out of the way of the British Army, which, did you notice that the British Army were like blood hungry in this movie?
Oh yeah, they
would just come out of nowhere.
They just wanted to murder some pirates.
Like,
and like that whole opening sequence, yeah, it's super ridiculous. Yeah, it's super could never happen. But it's a lot of fun, and it sets a good tone for a good portion of the film. It's just like, oh, it's just gonna be a wacky adventure of like bullshit shit that should never happen. And Johnny Depp just going around going, I don't know what I'm doing because I'm fucking drunk.
And as much as how negatively that scene set the tone of the movie for me, I will say that was the only good scene that was done in that movie that didn't overuse CG, because that was a legit building they were pulling.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah, you can even see the wheels if you look close enough.
Yeah, it's clearly being dragged on wheels, but it is a real fucking thing. Like, they are really moving this thing.
Yeah, they have horses that are pulling it and everything. Yeah, it was really neat. seeing them do that. But after that, like every other scene that could have easily been done practically is done with CG, even to the point where like they have CG Johnny Depp jumping over a building, or they have CG Johnny Depp doing facial reactions while a guillotine was going up and down, nearly missing his neck by a few centimeters. Like, they overuse CG in this movie, and even to the point where you had basic ships that was CG too. Like, the only thing that wasn't CG was the British ship that blew up, and what was it? The tiny little shitty, crappy little ship they had that Jack had.
Oh yeah, that's an actual like. That tiny ship perfectly sums up the budget.
Yeah, they're like, that's as much as we were able to do. But we didn't have the assets to reuse the Flying Dutchman, because we probably do have those ships locked away in a Disney warehouse somewhere that we could have easily used, but it's too expensive using the going out of water trick.
Yeah. I will say this, like, there's a lot of good work that goes into these Pirates movies, especially.
Well, this was before like the fourth movie, because there was a lot of work put in with the Gore Verbinski films.
Yeah, like there's a lot of work that's been done over the years with these pirate movies.
Yeah,
and I respect so much that they built a fucking full ship. Like to this day, like they built a whole fucking ship for that shit, you know?
Yeah, like the Black Pearl, the Flying Dutchman. It was really impressive that they spent like half of their budget just on the ships alone, which is why Pirates of the Caribbean 3 was the most expensive movie ever, because that actually hit the $200 million mark in a movie budget.
Damn.
But yeah, it was really...
It did make its money back, I'm pretty sure.
It did, because like people really liked the second movie. Well, I mean, critics didn't, but the people did. So it had enough fan power for them to be like, oh my god, what happened to Johnny Depp? Because if you forgot, he died at the end of the second movie.
Yeah, three was my personal favorite, because
I
that's
know
the one.
right,
That's the one where he's like stuck in purgatory with all the crabs.
Yeah, and he's talking to like different incarnations of himself.
Yeah, I personally love that one because you just see Johnny Depp talking to other what would you call hallucinations of himself.
Yeah, even to the point where he doesn't even know whether he's an hallucination, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah, like there was a lot of little clever things about that movie, and I really liked the whole thing about that in order to go to the other side you need to flip the ship and then it'll submerge itself somehow through bullshit. But I like a bunch of things that went on with
which the movie tried to do that too. This new movie tried to do that too with how they found the
Trident.
The Trident, where they had to do things to the ship where they were just like, I really don't know whether she's trying to sink the ship or not, but we'll try it. But yeah,
in either case, back the whole culmination is that there's a lot of good work that happens in the movies in the past, and this one is just kind of like you could have done so much more with this.
Yeah, because what the big bad in this movie, quote unquote big bad, is a pirate. Not even a pirate.
Not even a pirate. Like a cursed.
God, well, he was like
a British warlord.
Yeah, he was like a Spanish warlord.
Spanish warlord, yeah, a cursed Spanish warlord, he lost his father to pirates, so his motivation was to exterminate all the pirates in the sea, and he was damn near successful until young CG wisecracking Jack Sparrow led him to his doom.
Yeah, that still had the voice of 50-year-old Johnny Depp, though, which I thought was really funny. Because you see this kid who's probably like maybe 15 or 20, and then he's just like, mate, and I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
But yeah,
what the other thing I really didn't get about that scene is just like, he's supposed to be young Jack, yet he still already has the facial features of older Jack.
Yeah, it's because they couldn't do a lot with him.
I know, like, he already had his mustache and his goatee. I'm just like, what the fuck? You shouldn't have those yet.
Yeah. Like, they even said he's supposed to be, like, in his early 20s, so it kind of makes sense. But there's other people saying he was supposed to be a teenager. But, yeah.
He looks like he's 15.
Yeah, and I'll say that scene was cool. The way they tricked Salazar into the cave, I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah, I mean, the scene was cool. I was like, I bested you by doing a maneuver that you couldn't do. And then the thing I didn't understand is how it was going into that place
suddenly make you blow up.
suddenly make every barrel in your ship of gunpowder explode.
Actually, here's the thing in that movie. So many ships blew up in this movie that I could have just sworn that this ship was just a car with, like, engines and gasoline pipes. Because there's a British ship that blows up that would have not happened unless they broke every lantern in it when it got crushed. But no. That ship should have just gotten crushed and no explosion would have happened. But
Oh,
no.
is it when it eats it?
Yeah, when a ship eats another ship and then it blows up and it's just like that wouldn't have happened. It would have just torn off the entire top of that ship.
No, the audience needs to understand that they're dead, so it blew up.
Yeah, no, it was this movie did a lot of dumb things, but that's why we're here because we're here to basically talk about most of the movie.
Anyways,
So yeah,
let's start talking about like major plot shit.
so we have Jack getting rescued by the pirates who abandoned him, even though they said they were going to abandon him. And, he got abandoned by his pirate crew. So he went to the bar and he sold the compass, which for some reason...
The compass is tied to Salazar and his crew that lets them escape from the Bermuda Triangle because apparently the compass had them linked.
Why?
Okay, so there's this lore about the compass. And there's a lore I didn't know about the compass at all.
I just knew that it had the power to lead you to your desired location.
Yeah, and other people have used the compass willy-nilly because they just grab it from Jack in other movies.
Yeah.
But for some reason, when he sold his compass...
It's true.
Huh? What?
No, you're right. He hasn't given it, but he's had the compass taken away from him multiple times, and it's only when he finally decides to pawn it off that it, like, breaks the seal that lets Salazar out, and they're like, Jack abandoned the compass. It's like, why?
Yeah,
Why did this happen?
that's what I'm saying. So, like, the compass, which is just a really powerful mythical item, that's not bound to anyone, you grab it, it shows you what you want. That's the gimmick. That's how it's always been throughout all the movies. But for some reason, this movie, should Jack give it away, it lets Salazar and his crew get out of the Bermuda Triangle because they're trapped there as long as he owns the compass. And for some reason, he sells the compass to this one bar. And then some witch lady that tells Barbossa about the fucking compass somehow has it. I'm like, where did you get that? And the movie addresses like, where did you get that? She's like, I have my ways. And that's the script's way of saying, it doesn't matter, just let's keep going.
Yeah, which at the same time, that movie doesn't really explain who she is. Like, she's a prisoner, but at the same time, they gave her all of her witchcraft stuff.
Yeah, she's okay. So the entire movie has you saying, "Oh, there's this main character lady who they think is a witch, and they want to kill her immediately." And then later in the movie, there's an actual witch who they're keeping prisoner to do something.
Yeah, and then there are parts where the British Army just flat out let her walk around to use her however they want. You know, not in that way, but just like
to like
we need
help
to give us a location.
to help them find mythical items.
Yeah, and it's
for plot convenience.
Yeah, and it's just like, wait, so is she a prisoner? Is she a prisoner with special privileges? Is she in her own free will because she could get out at any minute? I don't get what's happening, movie, and you're really pissing me off.
So yeah, there's a witch being held captive, quote, and they use her to know about supernatural shit because she's a witch, I guess.
Yeah.
And she knows things, and she can do things. Anyways.
So, yeah, that's the thing. So, Barbossa is scared because he's finding out that now that Salazar's out, he's been taking out other pirate lords. And,
So Barbossa foolishly throws himself at him, saying, "Hey, I'll help you. Because you're fucking up my fleet, and I want you to stop that. So I'm going to help you."
Yeah.
Help you, quote.
Which his ship immediately gets under siege. Half of his crew is killed, and, like, he loses all of his riches. Which, God, he had I don't know how many towns he destroyed, but he had a lot of shit.
He was balling. He had private white guys in wigs to play him music in his quarters.
Yeah. And even then, like, when this eventual 6th Pirates of the Caribbean movie comes out, I will not be watching that movie because I have no reason to go now. But we'll go into that a little bit later because one of the problems I found with this movie too is that Geoffrey Rush, who was the bread and butter of all of these fucking pirate movies, except for the second one because he was only in it in the last scene. But like he was the best thing about the fourth movie. And in this last movie he was just there.
Who is he?
Barbossa.
Oh, yes.
Captain Barbossa.
Yeah, this was his way of Han Soloing himself out of the series.
Yeah, because it even looked like in this movie he was getting really bored. Except he didn't do the Harrison Ford thing where he gave a good performance before he left. No, he was just kind of there playing Barbossa at like 10% and not going the full on. I'm a crazy pirate man. That wasn't him at all.
I guess someone could argue, it's because now he's wealthy and shit that he's. Like, whatever, he's changed.
Yeah, no, but he even said, like, he never wants to stop being a pirate. Like, remember when she says,
yes.
you have to settle down. And
you can retire, and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, I always belong to the sea, because I am Barbossa, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, so, yeah, and like, for some reason, he had the power to release the black pearl from a tiny bottle, even though...
All this time!
Even though they established... in the last movie that Jack has other ways of getting it out of there. He just needed to find a witch.
Fuck everything.
Fuck everything, and fuck the people who spent nearly already 10 years watching this fucking franchise and having this last movie jerk off on their face and telling you, oh yeah, but aren't you just loving this because at least it's another Pirates movie? No, because you guys aren't shy.
Okay, let's try and get back on the plot. There's a lot of fucking details
I know. So anyway,
the plot.
The two kids end up teaming up with Jack after a very sort of kind of entertaining jailbreak escape where like Jack was almost about to get killed by a guillotine.
But yeah, okay, so they team up because they want to find Poseidon's trident. It's the mythical artifact that's said to remove all curses from the sea. Will Turner's son wants it because it'll free his dad from the fucking, what's the ship called?
Oh, the Flying Dutchman.
The Flying Dutchman.
Just think of SpongeBob.
Yeah, the Flying Dutchman. It'll release us from Flying Dutchman. And Jack wants it because Salazar and his men are a curse of the sea, and it'll remove them from the equation as well.
Yeah.
And then the woman wants it because it's the only link she has to her finding her dad, I guess.
Yeah, it's one of those plot lines, people.
Anyways, so they all team up. They go fucking to find the fucking island. So they all basically let the woman drive, and she looks at the stars because the map that can't be read by man is up in the heavens because the star. What do you call it? Star alignment, star.
Yeah, like the alignment of the stars is
what,
the map.
What do you call images in the star?
Oh, constellation.
Constellation.
Yeah,
there's a constellation that will lead them to an island that's uncharted on maps.
Yeah, a very simplistic constellation that doesn't exist on any map.
It is just 4 stars.
Yeah, it looks like it's Orion's belt, but Orion's belt doesn't have a crotch piece.
Yeah,
because that's basically what it was.
In either case, it's 4 brighter than normal stars put in a Y formation, and they're just like oh, okay, there we go, and we go, and then they get to the island, right? It's an island that no one's ever discovered, yet the piece of a ruby that's from that island was attached to a book that Barbossa left with her at an orphanage.
Because Barbossa is her biological father, and he told Jack, I gave her that diary and the ruby so she could make a good life for herself, but she took my ramblings to heart and spent her entire life doing this shit.
Which means Barbossa's been to the island. Or found this book from someone who has been to this island.
Yeah, oh no, he even said, this is some an Italian ship, and your piece of shit father stole it from someone.
Oh, right. Somebody, they did mention that.
Yeah, because remember, she slaps him for talking shit about her dad when he was really referring to himself.
Okay, yes. So he stole it from somebody who's been to that island, who wrote about this treasure that nobody can grab, and everyone believes that it's impossible to grab, and they just find it in a day. Yeah. They find it in a day because this one orphan somewhere had this book with a ruby in it. And for some reason, she was left at that orphanage as a baby.
Yeah.
Nobody stole that book?
No. Honestly, orphanages at that time, they probably, number one, they probably didn't even know it was a ruby, maybe.
Because that looked valuable, the thing on the book.
Yeah.
Like, you would think someone would still try to get money out of it, but I guess just left it with her.
Yeah, but no, orphanages are usually pretty nice, so I bet the people are just like, oh, this is her book. We'll just lock it away and give it to her once
she's older.
Yeah.
I guess, whatever.
And,
point being, she's held this book with her for 18 years.
Yeah.
Or more. However old she is, we don't fucking care. The movie doesn't say.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, she holds this book, and she's been studying it, and she finds the island, and they put the ruby into the island, and the island opens up the sea like Moses, revealing that the trident is just in the bottom of the sea, and there it is. And, the trident looks like. I'll say this. I like that Poseidon's trident doesn't look like a cliche trident.
Yeah.
I like that it was looked like a cursed object. It looked like it had a mind of its own.
Which that was one thing I called way before the movie came. Like, even some dude in the theater heard me. They're like, I told myself, I bet it doesn't have the power to lift the curse. I bet it is the curse. And it's just like, oh, it was the curse. And they had to destroy it because it gave you the power to control the sea. And it was throwing Jack around and slamming Jack on the floor because Salazar got his hands on it and was like using it to kill Jack. And it's just like, first of all, Jack would have been dead because he kept landing on his head like 7 times.
Okay, so let me address one super plot point that I really hated about that scene with the splitting water. So, as you know, the curse of Salazar's men is that they can't set foot on dry land.
Yeah, which I thought that scene was kind of creepy because they were just waiting in the side of the ocean, waiting for one of them to get close enough. I thought that was creepy.
Yeah, but that's not dry land.
Yeah, I know.
They're still in the ocean.
Yeah.
That's considered not the curse is dry land.
Yeah.
Which means they can have free reign over the ocean. They run on water.
No,
so they don't have to be inside the water.
No, and also, let's not forget that Salazar was using the sun's body to walk, and then he leaves the body and he's just walking around fine now.
Yeah.
Why?
Fuck if I know.
Yeah.
I got the trident, so I'm evil, and plot points, so you don't have to kill Will Turner's son.
Yeah, so it's like...
anyways, they should be able to walk in there and murder the fuck out of everyone, because that's not dry land. Their curse should not kill them being there.
And also, let's back up real quick, because you brought up one of the worst parts. You skipped over one of the worst parts in the movie.
Go for it. There's a lot to take in. We will be jumping a lot. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and that was the Black Pearl versus whatever the fuck that ship was called. I don't know what the
the fastest ship in the whole seas, and they catch up to them.
Yeah. So it's like the Ghost ship, it eats the British ship, literally fucking eats it. And, causes the ship to blow up, even though, it wouldn't have worked like that. If anything, it would have kept most of those dudes alive, and maybe if a lantern fell on a barrel, which would have not happened unless it was, a fire that burst out in the second it was eaten. Whatever. But anyway, they start fighting that ship, and that's when you get this really clumsy and horribly shot scene that it's way too dark for you to see anything. So you don't see the pirates attacking the evil pirates. And then you see this thing where Salazar and Jack are fighting.
It's darker than Suicide Squad fight scenes.
Yeah, it's darker than that joke.
And so they can avoid all the violence for kids.
So you see, Salazar and Jack fighting, but you could tell it's just 2 CG puppets jumping around on cannons. Then you see a part where a giant wooden statue comes alive for no reason, tries to kill Jack, and you can't even see what it's doing because, again, the movie is too dark.
It's raining?
Yeah.
It's raining, it's pitch black, and the only way you could see them is because of the thunder in the distance, I guess.
Yeah, and then, that happens.
I mean, I did like the giant, mermaid from the ship coming out to try and kill Jack. I thought that was cool. I'm just like, whoa, fuck.
I was just wondering why it had feet, though. Because
that
it was a
what,
mermaid,
that,
and then it suddenly had feet.
That was one thing, yeah. I don't know why it had feet, but I thought it was cool that the ship itself was also cursed, that it too would come alive.
Yeah, this movie had cool concepts, but
there's a lot of cool little moments, but they were just surrounded by dumb.
Yeah, so, moving back to where we were at, they go. They find out that, oh no, the trident is the cursed object, so we're going to go and we'll destroy the trident. So they destroy the trident.
By just slapping it.
Yeah.
Like,
And-
it's like the most powerful weapon in the seas.
They slap
forged by a god.
Yeah.
And they slap it with a rusty old fucking, like, pirate's curve sword and it breaks.
Yeah, and the pirates... And I liked this scene. I really did, but at the same time, all of those guys should be dead, so technically the spirits should have just floated away to the afterlife. But no, they come back to life, their bodies are fully formed, and the only reason I liked that scene is because they're like, oh my god, we're alive! Kill them! So, like, you know, they weren't pussyfooting around and being like, you know, I'm alive now, I'll come back as a different man. No, fuck you. You did nothing wrong. You are doing your job by killing pirates who are nothing but thieves and rapists, who, some of them are, it has been chronologically stated that pirates are mainly the reason why we have sexual diseases now.
No, yes.
Thank you, Jack Sparrow.
That-
I'm the one that gave you HIV, love. Fuck you.
I gave you HIV love. So sorry. I will now go and
Do things, I don't know. Fuck you.
get drunk again, I guess.
Hate this movie. But anyway, yeah. So they go in, a giant anchor from the Black Pearl comes with Barbossa on it.
I'm here to save you, lads, because I need to do something for this
And
movie.
then they have a really, really cheesy moment where the girl, like, accidentally rips his sleeve off, sees that he has the constellation tattooed on his arm.
For some reason, he has that constellation tattooed on his arm. It's like, when did you get that? Why do you have that?
Given we've never seen him without those sleeves. Like,
the
the thing is...
I'm
and-
sure if we go back somewhere, there's somewhere where he...
Yeah, like the thing, I stated off the podcast that Disney kind of hinted at the fact that Barbossa was gay. So it was already kind of weird that he was, that he had a daughter. But yeah, like, he dresses very frilly and very over the top because, you know, it might just be his homosexual tendency or what Disney thinks a homosexual is. But,
Disney will never admit anything. Hence Beauty and the Beast.
yeah, like Beauty and the Beast was a good movie, guys, because it made a bunch of money. No, it was a cheap knockoff of the original, and it just made money because little kids are stupid. Just how the little kids are stupid for wanting to see this movie, which is why it's #1 in the box office.
And we saw it, so that makes us dumb kids.
That makes us just as stupid. I know, and I'm gonna adjust that once I give my movie the rating. But yeah, so she's like, oh, what am I to you? And he's like, you are my treasure. And it's like, okay, you know, you just kind of insinuated that you wanted nothing to do with her, but okay, fine.
You're my treasure, and treasure's important to a pirate, you get it?
So guys, since this is a spoiler talk, we will be spoiling another movie in 3, 2, 1. Do you remember how heartfelt and heartbreaking Yondu's death was in Guardians of the Galaxy 2? Do you know why that was heartbreaking? Because they set up that relationship since #1, and they were setting up that relationship throughout #2. It made that scene so heartbreaking to watch because we really did get a sense that Yondu was Peter's surrogate father. And that Yondu really did rescue Peter from his inevitable death because he knew the horrible things that Kurt Russell was doing in that movie. It gave that movie depth from the very beginning, making his death all the more heart-wrenching and all the more painful to sit through. We never knew that Barbossa had a daughter. We never knew that Barbossa had any real heart, because as we know, Barbossa was the very definition of a pirate. He was psychotic, he was selfish, he was stingy. He would help people just to help himself. And, you know, he ends up sacrificing himself by plunging in, jumping, and killing Salazar, causing both of them to fall to their death, and that is the last we ever see of him. That was such an unnecessary death scene. What could have saved that scene from being meaningful the way Disney would have wanted if it was Jack that did it. Because it wasn't Barbossa's fault. It wasn't Barbossa that Salazar had a grudge against, it was Jack. So if Jack finally realized that maybe I should finally give myself away and never come back this time, because he's died like twice in the Pirates of the Caribbean lore.
But no, he's too selfish to do that shit.
He's too selfish. He is not a good character. He is a selfish piece of shit that we are fetishizing.
Fetishizing.
So he goes in, dies, and happy ending. The curse of the sea is broken. Will comes back. The plank of wood and the feminist stereotype end up making out. We see
Get that feminist stereotype.
We see Keira Knightley only above the waist because Disney didn't want us to see the ball and chain that was on her ankle because she obviously did not look happy to see in this movie.
The other thing that was weird is that, like, you know, we know her as a natural blonde for this universe, and she was a brunette. Like, when did that happen?
Oh, no, she's not a natural blonde.
Well, I mean, in the universe.
No, not in the universe either.
No?
She was a dirty
She's just always been blonde?
She's always been a dirty brunette.
Dirty brunette? Really?
Since the first movie.
So she's been dyeing her hair in the movie. Like,
Yeah.
and like
In the
personally, like, that was her character.
Yeah, in the third movie, which I think is the one you probably have the best memory of, she was blonde because she had to dye it to hide from, like, the British Army who was still looking for her.
Okay.
But
That's
always
what
been a brunette.
I was wondering. It's like, wasn't it always blonde? I thought, like, it was supposed to be, like, a natural blonde, or is it a fake blonde? I don't fucking know.
Yeah. So yeah, they end up embracing, and Jack sells off into, the end of the series, because this was the final movie. Disney's been telling you it was the final movie. No. Because post-credits scene at the very end of the credits...
Tell me, I didn't actually stay for the post-credits. Tell me what it was.
Yeah, so we have Will, who is sleeping all cozy next to his beloved wife, Elizabeth.
Oh, God.
And he's sleeping, so you get this scene where a door cracks open, lightning is shooting all over the room. You hear the loud clanking of a peg leg and a loud footstep echoing throughout the wood. You see a silhouette of a familiar character with tentacles swarming around his face in the silhouette of the shadow, and you see a lobster claw snap its fingers, waking Will up and making him realize it was nothing but a bad dream. He cuddles up against Elizabeth, falls asleep, and the camera pans down to show you that right outside the bed was a puddle of water and some barnacles. That's right, people. Davy Jones is still alive for some reason.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yes.
How?
I don't know, because they killed the fuck out of him in that last movie.
They killed the living... Oh, wait. Does it have something to do with the curses?
Maybe
Like,
it was like...
if they killed all the curses, the curse of his death is lifted, so he's back to life?
But why would he still be an evil sea monster, man? He would just
Because that's all the audience knows him to be in a silhouette.
Well, we see... Yeah, that is true. Because we see him as a human in the third movie, where he has like a little moment with Calypso. But yeah, so we're getting a second movie. You look at Disney, the directors are like, oh, no. This is Pirates of the Caribbean 5 Part 1. But Part 2's coming out, baby. And with how much money we gave this movie this weekend, Disney's just gonna come back, jerk off in our face again, and I am not gonna go see that movie because you killed off Barbossa. You have the characters who are now being forced... And I bet they got Ghostbustered into this role. I bet they had legal charges threatened against them to come back for this role. So, you know what? Fuck you, movie. I'm not going to go see that last one. You could go fuck yourself. I'm breaking a rule that I made when I first started the show. You get nothing. You get no fucking stars. You get a nothing out of 10. You don't even get a funny little quip. Fuck you, movie. Fuck you, Disney. Fuck this movie altogether. I'm done. I'm done talking about this movie. I already feel myself getting lightheaded.
Damn, holy shit. The worst thing you could ever give it. You gave it...
And I said I'd never give that movie. I said no matter how bad a movie is, I'll always give it a 1 because they got it made. But...
Wow,
this movie shouldn't have even been made. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry to the two directors who are so incompetent that one director couldn't even help the other.
I will say this. In terms of, like, this movie, I don't think it's a 0, but I understand everything you just said, and there's a lot of shit we didn't even talk about. There's a lot to take in. There's a lot we forgot. There's a lot we skipped, because it's just kind of like a bad fever dream now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just say this. If you have a youngin like a cousin or a
Yeah.
little brother that wants to go see this movie, you should go watch it with them. There's some fun moments. There's some cool stuff. It's a bad movie, but it's not boring to watch.
And I just want to clarify, people, the reason why I'm so passionate about my rating is because I love the original 3 movies. I was very harsh on the 4th movie, but that 4th movie had elements and good performances that kept me engaged in the movie. My favorite joke of the entire Pirates of the Caribbean series is from the 4th movie, where Jack is like, do we really have, the grudge is between Blackbeard and Barbossa. Do we really have to get into the fight? And then you see one of the pirates like, yeah, he has a point, and he just puts his sword away. But they end up fighting anyway, and, that was one of the funniest scenes in the series, and that's in the 4th movie, which I am not crazy about the 4th movie either. But the movie did try, it had its moments. This movie didn't try at all.
I understand all of what you just said, and but that's why I have to give it I give this Pirates like a freaking a 6 needless plot points out of 10.
Okay.
Because it's not like awful in the sense of it being a movie. It's awful in the sense that it forgets it's based off a series.
Yeah.
Like all the rules that all the series has made, this movie just forgets all of them. And that's what makes it awful to us. And it's true. But as a movie you watch it, if you watch it on TV, you'd sit down and watch it.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's silly. It's got a few laughs here and there that are pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not.
Except for that one scene that was completely done for comedy and it was needless, and that was the wedding scene.
Yeah. Okay, I laughed quite a bit on that one. Because I was just like, oh my god, this is so ridiculous. I'm like, why are you guys here? Why is this happening? I don't care.
Why
just keep going.
there just a random band of pirates in a little island area?
I don't fucking know, but it's just the thing about this movie. It's like, it's not boring. And that's why I have to give it, a generous 6. I'm like, yeah, I have all the problems you do, and trust me, it was a fuckfest. I'm just like, why does anything not make sense? But I had a good time with it. I found it as a funny bad movie, because it was fun. We laughed a lot, and generally speaking, a lot of cool moments. Just wish all of them made sense. But yeah, I don't think it deserves such low rating, but it definitely is not a good movie.
I'm just glad it has a 32 on Rotten Tomatoes, because as of now, that is probably the lowest rating they have.
32 sounds about right for critic, I would think. I'm saying it in terms of enjoyment value, it's about a 6. You'll have fun with this movie. It's not boring. It's not boring at all. There's a lot going on. It's just none of it makes sense.
Well, I mean, it's just like if you're like me, where like everything hinges on story and.
Oh yeah, and that's why we clash on the thing. It's just like you're more of the story and setup and performance, and I'm more of did you have fun watching it?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the thing for me is, like, I feel like if the story's crap, then, like, I really don't just want to sit down and watch action sequences, because then I really don't feel the depth of the action sequence. That was my problem with Ant-Man. Like, I think the fight choreography was great in that movie, but, like, the characters are so weak, and it was it's had such forced comedy in it that in that final fight, I'm just like, I can't enjoy this fight at all, because like I feel like there's nothing at stake. I want both of these characters to die because they're so horribly unlikable.
I can agree with that. I can totally agree with that. But like at the end of the day, yeah, bad movie, yes. Boring movie, no.
Yeah, and this is exactly what he told me in the text.
That is exactly what I told him after I saw this movie. Is it a bad movie? Yes.
Yeah.
Is it a boring movie? No.
When you had sent me that text, I had just walked into the movie.
Oh, you had just walked into it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's not like he's saying this just to purposely clash with me. No, this was his thoughts at 12:30, and I started my movie like at 1 something.
So that's cool. Like when I told you, you had just walked into the theater. Okay.
Yeah.
And
because the Vista doesn't.
So you already had my expectation of it. It's just like so you already know it's gonna suck. You just know that's probably not gonna be just miserable.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be a miserable watching experience.
Because if there's one thing that I did miss in the 4th movie is I missed the paranormal enemies, and I loved the paranormal enemies because that was Disney's excuse to get violent without reaching R. And
I just thought something.
What?
I just remembered something. We have a protagonist that doesn't believe in the supernatural chasing a supernatural fucking object.
Right? That's the thing that didn't make sense either. It was like, I don't believe in ghosts, and even though I got chased and nearly killed by ghosts, I don't believe in them still. You're chasing the trident of Poseidon. You're looking for an object created by a god.
You're looking for a superstitious object, and you don't believe in superstition.
No. You know what she is? A Christian. Because that's the Christian belief. We don't believe in dark witchcraft. We don't believe in witches, witchcraft, or like evil sorcery. But we do believe in a God. We do believe in a guy who lives in the sky, who created us, created the very fabric of reality as we know, and yet we won't acknowledge witches who just have technically his power to do the same thing. Oh no, of course not. Yeah, no, this girl was a full-on Christian.
Oh my god. Anyways, I just remembered that, like, wait a minute, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, there was so much wrong with this movie. I just hope this movie has like a 60% drop in the box office, but I bet you this movie's gonna kill in China.
It probably will.
Wait, no, Ghost.
Oh!
Yes!
Yeah, they might not be able to show it.
Fuck you, Disney, yes!
Yeah, they might not be able to show this in China because they are technically ghost people.
Yeah, they're ghosts.
They are technically ghost people, yeah. They can't show that.
They could get away with the first movie because they were zombie men and not ghosts.
But these guys are straight up ghosts.
Yeah, I know. Which is why I'm like...
I mean, that's probably why I like their design, because the way they died is the way they came back in ghost form. So the explosion blew off this guy's face. He came back as a ghost, that his face was blown off.
Yeah, and then there was another one where just like he had what looked like a cannonball shot through his chest, and then there was another one that was literally just a torso, his right hand, and the top of his hat.
And maybe a couple fingers on his left hand.
Yeah, no, that's it. It was just his left hand with a couple of fingers, and then his leg, but it was just like you know.
Yeah, I like those little moments when the crew was being held hostage by them. That one of the people was just like waving their hand through them because he's trying to see. He's like, "There's nothing there."
Yeah,
my hand's going straight through this guy.
Which is why I was wondering how they were even attacking them. Like the movie didn't really show whether the swords.
They had actual swords.
No, whether the people's swords, like the living, they had their sword, whether their swords are able to actually hurt them.
Oh, no, I think it was just all buying time. Yeah. You can't slice something that's already dead.
Exactly. and that was the thing with the third movie. What the first movie did is like the first movie was like, we can't kill them if they're dead, but we sure as hell can knock their heads off and make sure that we can buy a few minutes before they get back up.
Yeah, same thing with like Davy Jones' crew with the.
Oh, yeah. They couldn't die either, but you sure as hell can knock off the head. Even though some of them were able to get killed. There was one where it was just like a rock with an eel for a head, and they chopped that thing's head off.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, but again, that was the third movie, and the third movie, you know, that's your favorite movie. I'm okay with it. It's the order of the movies. The first one's the best one. Second one's really good. Third one is a take it or leave it film, but I take the movie. I'm not a take it or leave it. I'm a take it person. Because I have all of the movies.
I take it. Like, in terms of story and everything, 1 and 2, like, lead the pack. But in terms of entertainment, I found 3 the most entertaining because of all the little quirks and things that happen.
And also, they fight in a freaking vortex.
Then they fight in a giant whirlpool of death. Yeah. That was pretty cool. And they get married fighting in a giant whirlpool.
Yeah, there will never be a scene in that movie as entertaining as the marriage
that was the most entertaining thing I remember from these movies. It's just like, they're getting married, fighting off pirates, while circulating in a giant whirlpool of death.
And then Barbossa, one of the most unholiest man of the sea, is the pastor.
Being the pastor for marrying them. Yeah, that scene wins.
Yeah.
That scene wins.
So anyway, that was our show. We'll come back. Well, we have to do a show next week and the week after now because we're going into summer season. And we're going to have another DC show. Yay!
Fuck.
I don't want to go see Wonder Woman. I never even liked it to begin with.
The only thing Wonder Woman has for her is the cool theme song of the guitar. And that's it.
That is actually a guitar, but the whole that's a violin being played backwards.
Is it really?
Yeah.
You're kidding?
Yeah, you can go online and look for it.
Really?
Yeah.
It sounds like a guitar that they've warped.
Yeah, no, it's weird. It's like a warped violin they're doing. with like guitar riffing in the background. But yeah, so we'll be seeing that. The Mummy will be the week after, and I don't want to wait a week after to talk about The Mummy because I'm very looking forward to this movie.
Well, we'll
Please don't be a
see.
shit show.
Hopefully, my schedule will allow it. But
Don't be a shit show.
garbage is coming.
Ah, it is the summer. Garbage is coming. That smell isn't the sweat of smelly people. It is the stench of bad film.
It's the stench of Hollywood's summer blockbuster.
Next month is going to be May, Daniel. And that is when we go into the lovely world of Transformers.
It's gonna be May.
Oh, God.
What?
That was awful! Fucking Backstreet Boys.
Too bad. It happens every year on Tumblr.
I know, right? Oh, it's gonna be May. Ah, I get you. Okay. I'll give you that one, Tumblr. That was pretty funny. But yeah, it's already May. But yeah, it's like... we'll have Transformers and stuff coming out in the way line. You say you're not gonna go see it. I can't wait to be like, my brother wants to go see it.
I don't know. I don't know.
How come my friend couldn't just come this summer so I wouldn't have any excuse to go see these movies?
Yeah, that would have been
better.
I'll just be like, take me with you, Dave. I need to leave. I can't see these trash movies.
God, I have like 2 other friends who are like, oh my God, when she comes, I want to be there too. I'm like, God damn it.
No, you just don't tell them. You only tell me.
No, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
one of our other co-hosts knows, and then like the girls in San Diego know, but they're not gonna go. They're not gonna come.
No.
They said that last time.
They won't show up.
No, yeah, no. So yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have to tell them. They won't show up. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, they won't show up anyway. But yeah. I'm so scared what's gonna happen when that eventually happens because I don't think my mom's gonna want to meet her.
Yeah, it's fucking whatever.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you don't have to say anything.
She's not happy, that's why. She thinks I'm about to go buy my ticket to Russia right now.
What?
Yeah.
It's like...
I'm like, I'm not Roy. I don't have a steady job.
Where do I have the money to get to Russia?
Yeah, Roy, the reason my brother was able to go to New Zealand is because he was, he had the money. He had a master's degree and everything. So he had the money to go halfway across the world. Or not even halfway, across the fucking world. But anyway, guys, that was our show. Look forward to the summer extravaganza. We'll probably even have people come in and, like, do reviews for us and stuff. Because I think I know someone at my school that is actually going to go see Transformers with me, so...
Oh, my God.
That'll be fun.
Holy shit.
Yeah, Michael is very much looking forward to... I know Michael is probably going to be talking to me about being on the show, too.
What was he the one we saw? No, that wasn't.
Oh, yeah, no, it was Michael. We saw the 4th one with.
Well, oh, that was him?
Yeah.
So he's going?
I don't know if he's going to go.
Oh my God.
It's not him, it's another one.
Oh, I see.
But Michael wants to be on a show because he wanted to come. He was supposed to be the original host because I was under the impression that he was going to help me throughout the summer last year, but like it never happened. And that's when I brought the idea to you. But anyway, guys, that was it. Enough of our long-winded talking. Hopefully some of you guys don't hate me because I shat all over this movie the way this movie shat all over me. But anyway, bye, guys.